morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to have a chat about Black Bolt and White Flare. You see, the other day I showed you a video, and I explained in that video that something about Black Bolt and White Flare didn't really make any sense. And the thing that didn't really make any sense was the fact that the card numbers were wrong. They had a bunch of card numbers, and essentially every card number that we had been shown actually turned out to be the wrong number. Take Jellicent, for instance. Over here, it is White Flare card number 45. So we would expect that when we looked over in Japan, we would go, oh, well, Jellicent in Japan is White Flare number 45. That makes perfect sense. You can already tell by the way I'm talking that that was in fact not true, and it wasn't. Over in Japan, Jellicent was White Flare number 42. And there were a bunch of cards that basically fit the same kind of pattern, whereby we had the same kind of cards as Japan did. And in theory, Black Bolt and White Flare over here is the same as Black Bolt and White Flare over in Japan. But the numbers were all wrong. Like, they were all wrong. Just by a couple. Just a little bit. And that made very little sense. I also told you that at some point we would have an answer to this. We would have an explanation as to why the card numbers were different. And when such an explanation came down, I would come back and share that with you. Well, now we know. We have the explanation, and it's actually really unsatisfying. But we do have the explanation. You see, yesterday, Pokemon went and shared this image, or this pair of images really, and it shows all the Pokemon available in White Flare, and all the Pokemon available in Black Bolt. So I did what any self-respecting, content-creating nerd would do. I sat down with the Japanese Black Bolt and White set, and I compared their Black Bolt to our Black Bolt and their White Flare to our White Flare, and I found exactly 4 differences. There was a Stage 1 and a Stage 2 line that had moved in either direction, including Mandibuzz and Braviary. Mandibuzz has moved from Black Bolt in Japan to White Flare over here, and Braviary has moved from White Flare in Japan to Black Bolt over here. And if you are a fan of the Pokemon video games, that should make you feel icky. Because that's wrong. And the reason why that's wrong is that now we have Mandibuzz only available in White Flare, despite the fact that it's exclusive to Pokemon Black. And we've got Braviary exclusive to Black Bolt, despite the fact that in the video games it's exclusive to Pokemon White. They're the wrong way round. Now, if they'd been the wrong way round in Japan, and we'd moved them for the English set to fix it, I'd have gone, you know what? I'm on your side. This is pretty good. But they didn't. They moved it in the wrong direction. Braviary is, one of those kind of specialish Pokemon that was exclusive to Pokemon White. So over in Japan, it's in White Flare, and we go, oh, well, that makes perfect sense. Obviously, it's exclusive to White Flare. Not the case over here. Here, it's exclusive to Black Bolt. And Mandibuzz, again, moderately special Pokemon. It's not like a pseudo-legendary or anything, but it's a Stage 1, and it's all kind of special, and it's one of those pair of birds. And over in Japan, it's exclusive to Black Bolt, and we go, well, that makes perfect sense, because it's only found in Pokemon Black when we look at the video games, but now over here in the West in the TCG is exclusive to White Flare, and I don't get this. That makes no sense to me. These are parallel Stage 1s, and in the video games, Pokemon put 1 in each game, and that made perfect sense. And it always made perfect sense to me why they were this way round. It's how I remember it. Braviary in Pokemon White, because Braviary is based on a bald eagle. Bald eagle is a national bird of the US. Red, white, and blue. Boom. Sorted. Whereas Mandibuzz is a vulture. Vultures are often seen as kind of scary, picking at corpses and all of that. plus it's literally got black feathers, boom, put it in Pokemon Black. They are the right way round as far as I'm concerned. I don't know why they've swapped them. It makes no sense to me that they've swapped them. I don't see a reason why you'd swap between the sets. I don't see any plausible, and I'd love to get an explanation for this, though I doubt I ever will. I don't see any good reason why Mandibuzz should be in White Flare and Braviary should be in Black Bolt. But I can give you a very good reason why they should be the other way round, like they were in Japan. Because that's the way they were in the games. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't like it, frankly, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not a fan at all. I think this is a mistake. It's actually also very relevant because Mandibuzz is a good card. I'm going to be honest with you. Braviary's not a particularly good card. 4 energy, 130, or 1 energy, 40 damage. Flip a coin. If heads, it does 40 more. Braviary's not terribly relevant. I don't want to be rude, but nobody really cares about Braviary. I'm sorry. Here's the thing, though. Mandibuzz actually is a good, potentially playable card, so now we need to be conscious of the fact that this is in the wrong set. The ability says that once during your turn, you can look at your opponent's hand and bench a 70 HP or lower Pokemon that you find there. Basic Pokemon. That's potentially really good. Making your opponent bench Pokemon they don't want to, getting a look at their hand. This is a really good, relevant ability. So, yeah, that is a card that some people are going to be looking for this card. So the fact that it's now in White Flare is very relevant. I don't see a reason to switch these. I do see a reason not to switch them. Now, the other thing that's gone and been switched is Chandelure and Klinklang. They have also been swapped around. Chandelure was in Black Bolt and is now in White Flare. Klinklang was in White Flare, is now in Black Bolt. These ones I don't care so much about. Now, I remembered that Braviary and Mandibuzz were version exclusive. They were, like I say, they're not like proper full-on special Pokemon, but they certainly have kind of an air of that about them. I remembered them being version exclusive. Klinklang and Chandelure, I didn't. So I did what I always do when I have questions about the video game and where to find Pokemon and things of that nature. I went to sarahb.net and I had a look. And they're not version exclusive. I didn't think they were. I didn't remember them being version exclusive. They're not. So there's no reason I can see not to swap them. I don't think there's a reason not to swap them over. I also don't think there's a reason to swap them over. Like, I don't look at these like I look at Mandibuzz and Braviary and go, well, moving them was dumb. However, I do look at them and I'm like, I don't see the reason. I don't think it's terrible that they did, and I really think moving Mandibuzz and Braviary is just weird and makes no sense. These two, fine. I don't think you should move them. I don't see any reason to move them, but I don't think it's a terrible idea that you didn't. And Chandelure especially, that's early on in the set list. So the fact that so many cards have been shunted by free places, while the fact that Chandelure has either added or removed free cards makes kind of sense. All the other free Pokemon that have been moved, they're all fairly late on in the set, but Chandelure's nice and early. So essentially, the cards from White Flare have all been shunted down free, and the cards from Black Bolt have all been shunted up free. So this is your explanation for why the numbers were different. They've gone and swapped them around. Mandibuzz and Braviary have been swapped, and Chandelure and Klinklang have been swapped. I don't really understand it. In terms of whether you should care about this, Klinklang says that any of your Pokemon with Metal Energy attached to them take 20 less damage by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. It's not terribly relevant, if I'm honest with you. Don't expect it to see a huge amount of play. And Chandelure here has a nice little single energy attack that does 50, but 100 more if you've got 10 or more basic fire in your discard pile. But again, I don't expect it to be that competitively relevant. Of the 4 cards that have been shunted, it's only Mandibuzz that I look at and go, oh, yeah, we might need that. But it's still bizarre. But I told you that when we had the answer, I would tell you the answer Well, wonderful news, we now have the answer. Here is the complete list of cards that are available in Black Bolt and White Flare, so you can have a little bit of a gander here and see where your favourites lie. It's weird that they've moved some. I don't see why they had to move them. The number of cards in each set remains the same. And like I say, they've even swapped a Stage 1 line and a Stage 2 line. So the configuration is very, very similar. It's just now we've got Chandelier and Mandibuzz in White Flare, and we've got Kling Clang and Braviary in Black Bolt. Does it make sense? No. But there we go. There's your answer. And look, if nothing else, I now understand why the numbers are different. That alone makes me happy. But I want to hear from you guys. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me if you care. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. And get shout-outs on the channel like the lovely Tamberlin, who's been a supporter of ours for a long time now and seems to be a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.